All right, so again, thanks for joining our webinar today. We're excited to show you how you can optimize your holiday revenue potential. We're going to talk about what you need to know to capitalize on the multi-million-dollar peak VoIP traffic season. If you happen to have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to type them in. We'll respond to all questions at the conclusion of the webinar. And thanks for filling out our quick poll question. It looks like about 30% of people are existing calling card providers, 30% are entrepreneurs, 20% are existing VoIP providers, and another 10% are calling card resellers. So looks like we have a good group for this topic today. So let's jump right in and talk about what we're going to cover. The holiday peak traffic opportunity is huge, as we all know. So we're going to show you how providers have seen up to an 80% increase in VoIP minutes during the holidays. We're going to talk about top solutions to drive holiday revenue, keys to success in holiday marketing. We've actually polled our clients, which are hundreds of successful VoIP and calling card providers, to get their input on what works for them for holiday marketing. So that's going to be really interesting. And how to leverage holiday momentum for long-term profits. So what to do once you've gained new customers. How can you keep them and convert them to long-term recurring business? We're also going to talk about do's and don'ts from experienced providers and also some tips from our VoIP technology experts, and then the next steps to realizing maximum returns. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Carrie Fetters, Sales Manager for IPsmarx. I've been with the company since 2006, and I work directly with our clients who are mainly voice over IP and calling card service providers. And I have with me today Sean Boromond. He is Technical Manager for IPsmarx. He has over 15 years of experience in technology, support, and implementation. And he also works directly with our top VoIP providers and has experience with high-capacity systems. So he's going to be able to provide some valuable insight on how to ensure you have a technically sound VoIP infrastructure that's ready to handle the increased traffic that the holidays are going to bring. So Sean, thanks for being here.
Hi, Carrie. Pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for having me as well.
Let's also talk about who is IPsmarx. You know, if you're not familiar with us, we are the leading prepaid and VoIP solution provider. You know, we support over 1,000 VoIP service providers in 75 different countries with our solutions. We started with a calling card solution in 2001 and have been successful in helping startups grow and enterprises expand with our varied VoIP solutions over the years. So we deliver the technology, support, and training you need to start and grow a successful prepaid and voice over IP business. So what is this holiday peak traffic opportunity? According to reports from VoIP providers such as Globe Telecom and LIGA, telcos have reported up to an 80% increase between December 24th and January 1st consistently. There's a New York-based pinless provider who reported 55 million voice minutes throughout Christmas last year. And one of our clients who we spoke with and we'll talk more about later in the presentation, reports up to a 40% increase in voice traffic beginning early November to early January. And he's seen this increase, you know, historically year after year since 2004. Sean, are these numbers in line with what you've seen with our customer base historically?
Yes. To answer the question, I can tell you, according to our soft switch and basically switch monitoring systems, and also based on some analysis that we've done on some of the client systems, especially during the holiday peak traffic, so we've observed an increase of traffic by 60 to 65, sometimes 70 to 75% on average. And this basically includes different services as well. So the average that I'm talking about is actually more on the pinless and residential services, and to be more specific. We've also seen an increased rate of approximately 60% on mobile top-up, to be exact, at the time that is usually actually the best time for the customers who'd like to, for basically the consumers to like to top up their relatives and friends' mobiles overseas as a holiday gift.
Okay, great. So it sounds like there's definitely a lot of research and information to back up those numbers.
Yes, correct.
And as we all know, this is really a global opportunity. Everyone knows that people tend to spend more money during the holiday season. In fact, the National Retail Federation expects holiday spending to top $602 billion this year in the U.S. alone. And this is not only true for retail and hospitality industries. The telecom industry benefits from this increase in spending as well. We know, immigration is on the rise. The U.S. has over 1 million people from other countries becoming citizens every year. There are 50 million people living in the European Union who are born outside of their country of residence. And Canada, is having 250,000 people coming from other countries each year as well. So all of these people need to make calls back home during the holidays, and they're also going to talk longer than normal, to their friends and relatives overseas. So lots of opportunities, starting early November through January. There are many different holidays. There's Diwali, Hanukkah, Thanksgiving, Christmas, all the different New Years, and so forth. So lots of opportunities here for increased VoIP traffic. So we're going to talk more about what solutions you can use to best capitalize on these opportunities. People who are living in North America or Europe who are originally from another country are looking for a convenient, low-cost way to call back home. And they're also looking for a way to easily pay for their friends and family back home to call them. So this is where mobile top-up, prepaid services, DID forwarding, and applications for smartphones come in. So we're going to talk a little bit more about these solutions. Starting with international mobile top-up. Obviously, this is perfect for the gift-giving season. This solution enables your customers to buy mobile credit for their friends and family in other countries. As Sean mentioned earlier, our customers generally see a 60% increase in mobile top-ups during the holiday season. And we've seen a lot of success with this feature among our client base because it's easy to implement in conjunction with calling card or pinless services, and it appeals to the same demographic who would be using the prepaid services. So if you're not familiar with how mobile top-up works, for example, if you're from Mexico and you're living here in the U.S., but your parents are still back in Mexico, you can always get a pinless account or a prepaid phone card for yourself to call Mexico. And then in addition to that, you can buy mobile credit for your parents in Mexico so they can receive calls without having to top up their mobile phone themselves. And of course, they can also call you. Sean, what are you seeing from a technical perspective in terms of how easy this solution is to implement?
Yeah, so actually what I wanted to add before getting especially, talking about this very module here, I wanted to also add that, the modules that you've actually mentioned in the previous slide, they're actually all about the modules that are very easy to implement and very easy to maintain from a technical perspective. And in fact, one of the benefits of using the IPsmarx service for like this very module, international mobile top-up, is that in fact the IPsmarx, it actually gives both the administrators as well as the users a very central solution that gives the user one simple interface in which they can use their payment options like credit card, etc., and choose their destinations or the target mobile number and any provider and make the top-up. This is, in a comparison, this is unlike so many other providers that you will need to set up a payment in one interface and also see if the destination numbers and mobile operators, etc., are supported with that system or not. Back to you.
So yeah, that sounds great. Sounds like it's pretty easy to implement. If you already have the calling card platform from IPsmarx, International Mobile Top-Up module would probably be something good to add, before this holiday season to increase revenue. So getting back to pinless and calling card solution, These types of services are still very popular among immigrant community in the U.S. and Europe. Pinless is easy to use, it's inexpensive, doesn't require the use of the internet, a data plan, or a smartphone, to make calls. So it's still really popular. And IPsmarx actually offers a number of competitive features like DID forwarding, reseller management, and different recharge features to make your service stand out and be even more convenient for your customer base. From a technical perspective, the IPsmarx calling card solution is one of the most reliable and feature-rich platforms in the market today. Sean, what are you seeing on the technical side as it pertains to this solution?
Yeah, so from a platform perspective, so actually the system is technically well designed to ensure that the clients are able to save their contact list on the system. And that they are actually able to do auto recharge so that they don't have to go through a long payment process every time they'd like to recharge the account. They also can create and maintain a speed dial list on the system, which is because it actually happens on the backend system, we can actually also call it a cloud, and that they can actually avoid the repeat of adding PIN numbers. That is not really an easy or convenient way of dialing long distance numbers. It also enables multiple caller ID authentication and also automatic authentication based on the caller ID so that the users can actually enable their cell phones, home phones, or office phones, which is, again, another convenient way of dealing with VoIP systems and services.
Okay, and to expand on this further, you can add mobile applications to complement the prepaid service as well.
Yes, correct.
So now we're looking at Breeze, the mobile VoIP solution. The mobile VoIP market is growing. The mobile market is growing. There are now 6.5 billion mobile subscriptions, and between 2012 and 2013, mobile data traffic almost doubled thanks to the increase in smartphone penetration. So obviously, if you're in telecom, you're looking for a way to cater to people who are using a smartphone. And our clients are taking advantage of this by implementing Breeze, which is their own custom-branded VoIP and pinless dialer for iPhone and Android phones. It's a mobile app, which makes it easy and convenient for your customers to use your services. And ease of use obviously leads to more consumption and more profit. Sean, for those that don't know, how do our mobile applications work?
Yes, Carrie. Actually, the best way for me to describe Breeze is to tell you that it is actually simply converting a smartphone, and by a smartphone I mean any smartphone, to an advanced IP phone. Breeze provides you with features like codec selection, like G729 or G711. So that'll actually enable you to select which codec you want to actually use for the calls. Number rewriting rule, that is another feature that can be also considered a great feature, especially when you would like to access your phone's contact list and dial the numbers there. Usually in those cases, the numbers that are saved for local on the smartphones are actually saved for local dialing. So and they do not match the VoIP or international format or pattern. The number rewriting can easily reformat the numbers for VoIP dialing without changing the actual number on the smartphone itself. It also gives the options to basically make VoIP calls while on a cellular phone or actually on Wi-Fi, or actually if you are on both, you can actually also enable the calls on both networks. So it again, another all-in-one small piece of module as part of your IPsmarx turnkey solution.
And because the application is custom branded for our clients, it makes it easy for them to expand their brand awareness. So customers who begin using a mobile app may also go back and set up a pinless account or start buying mobile top-up, for example. So let's look at one of our clients who has been successful in implementing Breeze. We have a screenshot of his website here. Sean, could you tell us more about what this customer has on the back end?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, for this customer, in specific. As you can see, so the screenshot you've got is a screenshot of a website. So you can see that they're using a couple of services and modules all together to provide such a great package of services. For the website, they are using our white-labeled e-store as the master platform with great cosmetic customizations that they've made on the website. A backend switch is obviously our SOP switch that is handling the billing and termination, and the most obvious and marketable module here on this service on this website is that you can see is the Breeze, which you can see that they've also they're offering it under their own logo and brands. They're currently offering their customers with 2 versions of Breeze right now to support both iOS, which is for iPhone, and Android platforms as well.
So this is a great example of a real-world company using Breeze, as well as some pinless features to capitalize on this market. A marketing tip from some of our customers is to, along with Breeze, offer a special holiday rate plan or package. For example, you can offer unlimited calling to North America for $19.99, and then maybe for the holidays, you offer a special plan for your niche market. For example, you can offer a certain number of minutes to Haiti for a flat monthly rate just for the holidays. To expand on, marketing tips, let's talk about holiday marketing. As I mentioned before, we've polled our customers, and they've given us lots of tips on how to capture the most customers during the holiday season. But the one piece of advice that almost every successful provider shared with us was to focus on a niche market. And some of the ways that they've done that using our solutions are some of these features that you see on your screen. So I'm going to go over these briefly, and then in the next slide we'll talk about other marketing tips that you can do without having to get additional features from IPsmarx. So starting with the IPsmarx features, eStore promotion is a special feature from IPsmarx that will allow you to easily advertise a promotion or a special deal on your website. So this tool makes creating time-sensitive offers and promotions easy. In just a few minutes, you can change the offer that's shown on your site. So our clients have seen a lot of success with this, especially during the holidays, to do some special marketing depending on the holiday that's around that time. Additional IVR languages have also been really helpful, especially to appeal to a niche market. Obviously, IVR is interactive voice response, so this is the menu that you hear when you use a calling card that says, please enter a PIN and so forth. So, why not have your IVR in Spanish or Farsi or another language? IPsmarx offers 13 different IVR languages to choose from, so you can get more information about that after the webinar. In addition to that, you can also customize a welcome message to play before the standard IVR prompts. And I've seen clients use this in so many different ways. They use it a lot during the holidays to play a special holiday message or greeting. Sometimes they use it to say something in their own dialect. I've seen people do this with Amharic or Somali, for example. And also just to announce the company name, get their brand out there more, and even to promote other products or services. You can use it to play a quick advertisement, for example. There's a lot you can do with that. Gift cards is another thing that you can do with our platform. You can create gift cards that can be redeemed for minutes. Of course, this is a great feature for the holidays. Also, offering $1 free for new customers. This is an incentive for new customers to sign up for your service. And the IPsmarx system will also enable you to create different brands of phone cards. So you can take advantage of this by creating different designs and brands, especially for the holidays. If you create something that specifically appeals to your niche, like maybe it has a photo of a famous soccer player from your country or a colorful Diwali scene, people might even buy these cards as gifts for their friends and families because of the image on the front of the card. So these are all initiatives that are supported by special features in IPsmarx platform. Want to talk about some other tips that we heard from our customers that are more, general advertising and marketing that you can do. One of the things that we heard was, offering incentives to convenience stores, telling them, the more they sell, the more commission they can make, for example. You want these guys to be promoting your services, especially during the holidays when people are going to buy more and use more minutes. Some of our clients mentioned advertising on satellite TV channels. This type of advertising is relatively inexpensive and can specifically target people from other countries. Another great way to tap into your niche market. And there are a lot of community events, especially around the holidays. You can use these events as opportunities to promote your service. You can sell gift cards, you can sell phone cards, and really, demonstrate how Breeze works and get your name and your brand out there. And finally, advertising in newspapers and online magazines that are targeting people from other countries. So some publications that our clients mentioned include Immigrant Magazine, El Tiempo Latino, that's actually the Spanish version of the Washington Post, the Ethiopia, Ethiopian paper in D.C. They've got these publications in every city, and advertising here is pretty inexpensive and really targeted, which is what you need to go after that niche market. So let's look at a real-world example of someone who's actually implemented some of these marketing strategies and also IPsmarx solution. We're looking at one of our clients here, Multi-Serve Concept, Mr. Tola, and he's been using IPsmarx solutions since 2004. He's actually seen a 40% increase in traffic annually between November and January. And he's another one of our clients that said, his advice would really be to pay attention to your customer niche and look at the demographic to plan the best strategy for your holiday marketing. Just to give you an idea of the holiday traffic cycle, this information is based on what Tola and Multi-Serve Concept has shared with us. They normally see a 20 to 30% increase in voice traffic beginning in early November. So if you're looking at this graph, looking at 100, that's normal usage. And you see it climbs in early November, goes up even higher in December, another 10%, and then goes as high as 40% increase into December, into the new year, falls a bit in early January, and then goes up again in mid-February. So you're really looking at a block of almost 5 months here of increased voice traffic. So a little bit more about Multi-Serve Concept. You can see a screenshot of their website here. You'll see, that they're advertising a referral program. They're signing up agents, and they're also promoting mobile top-up, which we've touched on earlier. And I actually was able to speak with Tola, and he shared with me that his marketing strategy over the holidays is to offer special discounts during the holidays, to create special packages. So we talked about maybe creating a plan with a certain number of minutes to a specific country for a flat rate, doing something along those lines. He mentioned maybe offering unlimited calling to India for a monthly rate. And also he suggested advertising in newspapers and online publications that target your demographic, for example, Nigerian newspapers and so forth. Sean, do you have anything to add about this particular customer from a technical perspective?
Yeah, sure. So this customer in particular, as you said, actually, Carrie, they're actually using a very great infrastructure from a processing power perspective, as well as they're actually using a very great set of modules, a great combination of set of modules. So basically, the processing power of their backend platform that also includes the server that you're using, as well as their network, as well as a very great and the right combination of the modules. It's basically all this is actually enabling them to offer a great set of features and services to their end users. So technically, I mean, if you go by the technical stats, again, you see I have the soft switch traffic stats for this customer as well here, that we can see an increase of 40 to 45% in general on all the different modules, especially on every single holiday season.
Wow, that's great. So as you can see, this particular customer has been successful for quite a few years during the holidays with the IPsmarx platform. Assuming you're able to do the same and acquire new customers during the holidays, let's talk about how you can keep these customers and really get them to keep coming back and increase their value to your business. We're getting a lot of questions right now on the webinar about rates and what are the rates, and if you have lower rates, obviously you can get more customers and they'll use more of your services. Well, during the holidays, if you're really getting this increase in traffic of anywhere from 40 to 80%, this is the best time to go back to your wholesale termination providers and negotiate lower rates. As we know, in this industry, volume is power. So if you have more minutes being consumed, you can negotiate lower rates, and the lower your rates, the more people will use your service and so forth. So that's kind of the cycle of this industry, as we know. Talking about customer acquisition, you might know it actually costs 5 times more to acquire new customers than it does to keep current ones. This is based on Forrester research. And your likelihood of selling to a brand new customer could be 5 to 10%, but your likelihood of selling to an existing customer is actually 60 to 70%. So once you get a customer using your service, you want to make sure you continue to nurture them and keep them loyal to your service, and even upsell to them. So let's talk about some ways that you can encourage them to use more of your services, refer their friends to you, and buy more from you. Some of the features that you can do this with are auto recharge. Obviously your customer during sign up can agree to have their credit card automatically charged when their balance reaches a certain threshold. Recharge through IVR, making it easy for them to recharge their PINless account, for example, over the phone. Bonus points, another feature that we offer. So, tell your customers if you use 500 minutes, you get a certain number of minutes free. A referral program, encouraging people to refer their friends and family and offering them an incentive for that. We have software to manage all of these things. Obviously, expanding your market share with resellers and agents is always going to help you increase your customer base. So Sean, if one of our clients wants to add one of these additional modules before the holiday season, what is the process?
2 words, it's very easy. I can tell you, Carrie, that the IPsmarx soft switch, it made this installation process very easy, and the reason behind it is because the soft switch, when we deploy the soft switch initially, all these modules, add-ons, or basically value-added services, they all go by the soft switch, and they all basically are being installed at once initially. So this also enables my technical team to be able to, just set the permissions and enable the add-on modules upon request. This also makes sure that we don't really cause any downtime for the service. So, for example, if someone wants to add the recharge IVR or auto recharge module, that's just basically a simple enabling the module on the soft switch itself. So, and it removes any downtime or any service disruptions as long as they're actually running on a production system. This is, again, if you want to do a comparison with other technical systems, this is just unlike other systems that, you have to do a restart of the system upon installation. So sometimes if you want to basically install something on different switches or different systems in IT, you normally actually need to do a restart. That carries a downtime of the systems and services as well. So in this case, again, like as I said, because the modules are there already and have been deployed, we just basically need to enable the modules, and the customers are good to go.
That sounds great. So if you're already in business and you want to add some extra features to help increase profits during the holidays, sounds like enabling new features is pretty easy. So let's talk about some of the other things you'll need to keep in mind to prepare for the peak traffic season. So we'll go over a couple do's and don'ts from experienced providers. Obviously, you want to plan ahead. You know, it takes some time to set up your system. If you're going to print cards and get your website up and running. So there is still time to launch your business before the holidays, but you want to start sooner rather than later. So as we saw in the case study earlier, peak traffic actually begins in early November. So you want to get going on your holiday marketing soon. Sean, from a technical perspective, what are some of the other things our clients should keep in mind to make sure they're ready for the peak traffic?
From an IT view, or from an IT perspective, what is very important to everybody in IT is HA. That's referred to high availability. So basically, I can tell you a few things about different items and factors that especially VoIP providers, they need to consider all the times. Redundancy is one of them. Support, having a support or 24/7 support is another one. Having carriers, having different or alternative DID providers is actually another one. So for the redundancy, what is usually being deployed? Just to give you a little bit of a background from a technical perspective as to what is really needed from an IPsmarx perspective. So for the redundancy, what is usually being deployed is just a set of 2 identical servers with the IPsmarx soft switch installed on them. And what happens is that the databases on these 2 servers are normally actually being synced on every 1 minute or so. The redundancy should always be considered as a critical strategy of any VoIP or IT service provider, as it simply provides the high availability. That is an important KPI for business continuity and as well as for the customers. So in a redundant environment, if the primary server becomes unavailable due to any reason, like server down, a network issue, a firewall issue, things that you cannot really expect, the secondary, the backup server announces itself as the primary within 3 to 5 minutes, and it starts accepting and terminating the calls. The reason for that 3 to 5 minutes delay is also sometimes because some system administrators, they just want to, in a redundant environment, if you, for example, plan or consider to restart the primary server for any reason, for maintenance, stuff like that, then we don't want the backup server to kick in right away. So that's what another thing that we need to basically put like some sort of an interval, which is 3 to 5 minutes. The other thing that you need to actually consider is to make sure that you have a valid support package. Again, like my team is here always 24/7 to support any business impact issues, anything that is actually require a IPsmarx support. So just make sure for that during the holiday season you actually have a valid support package, you have enough vouchers. People have been dealing with us, they know that they need to actually have enough vouchers to be able to communicate with the support and stuff like that. So my team is always ready to support you in case of any technical issues as well. The other thing to consider as well is that you need to, again, that again goes back to the high availability. So you need to have or make sure to have at least 2 or 3 carriers in your soft switch. Some people, they just actually have 1 carrier, which is not really a preferred solution. So make sure that you have at least 2 or 3 carriers in your soft switch to ensure high availability for the route termination in case 1 carrier becomes unavailable. The other one actually can always handle all the calls. In addition to all this, the system owner should also make sure that their system is running on proper capacity for concurrent calls before they hit the high traffic. You want to basically give them some more information, I guess, Gary, with regards to the concurrent calls and capacity.
Yeah, regarding the capacity, you know, it's similar to what you said about the add-on modules. You know, if you need to increase your capacity during the holiday season, it doesn't take our team very long to do that, and there shouldn't be any downtime either.
Right.
So something that's very easy to do. And for our listeners who are getting ready to start the business, they haven't implemented the IPsmarx solution yet, what will they need to get started? Are you there, Sean?
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't get the question.
Oh, so what are they going to need to get started with our solution?
Okay, so just to make it very simple, basically to set up a VoIP solution using IPsmarx soft switch, what basically you need is just an IT infrastructure. And what I mean by that IT infrastructure is basically that normally includes just one server, which is a dedicated server, an IP address, an internet and network, obviously, and preferably a firewall, just to ensure security of the system as well. Prevent any security issues and stuff like that as well in the future. So the business owners may also consider going with a co-location. Preferably, again, they can actually go with one of our partners who can just simply provide them with all the IT infrastructure that they need at once, and just also maintain them for them. In addition to these that are more on IT infrastructure sort of platform, you will also need to have at least one carrier and one DID. This is again happening after once the IT infrastructure is ready, again including the server and internet and stuff like that. And that is again after the soft switch is installed on the server. So you need to start researching and obtaining one carrier at least for terminating the calls and one DID to be able to start the business. The DIDs are also can be obtained from a DID provider, and again, preferably it's also better, or it's more recommended that they're being obtained from a partner of our preference, so we know we are sure about the compatibility and everything as well.
Right, makes sense. And something important to note about the monthly expenses for a new VoIP startup is that they should be relatively low. For example, the server hosting that we recommend starts at about $100 a month, and DIDs for a startup around $100 a month as well. So I don't think the monthly expenses are really cost prohibitive for a startup. So if you're ready to get started with an IPsmarx solution or add modules to your current system, definitely contact us for a consultation. We're actually going to be offering some special holiday bundles, including many of the features that we highlighted today. So definitely get in touch with your account manager. You can see our contact information here. You can email info@IPsmarx. Call us in the U.S. at 703-779-3594, or in Toronto, Canada, 416-665-6999. For those of you that have submitted questions during the presentation, we will follow up with you offline to make sure all your questions are answered. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we look forward to helping you make this year's peak traffic season a success.
Thank you, Carrie.